What is going on, everybody? And welcome back to another Ross Reviews, where today we are driving a 2005 Renault Clio Sport Cup F1 edition. Now, this is kind of like an Aussie Renault Australia kind of limited edition model here, where they needed to get rid of some of these Renaults, and they ended up making this kind of special edition for the Formula One. So you've got kind of this Renault Sport Formula One badge here. It says 1 of 30, I believe. It's got some signatures from actually the F1 race team guys. So I think we have Fernando Alonso and Giancarlo something. I'll show you a picture of what it is anyways. But this car was basically a normal Renault Sport Cup with a nice F1 racing blue. So I think it was the French racing blue color they called it. So all of these limited editions had this blue color, had a racing stripe on it. You know, you had that badge like we just mentioned. Pretty well, that was all they really got. They didn't get a whole lot of fancy stuff in here. The only thing that these cars kind of had that was different from, say, the ones over in the UK was that these from factory, as standard, came with some of the luxuries. So you had the nicer seats, you had air conditioning, just some small things like that, where if you had the Cup version over in the UK, those were optional extras, because over in the UK especially, this is a very, very popular track car because it's very light, it's very cheap, and it's actually a lot of fun to drive. Now, this particular Clio is the 182 Sport Cup, and judging by the name of it, this has 182 horsepower and about 150 pound-foot of torque. Now, this has a naturally aspirated inline four-cylinder, and it is front-wheel drive, but it's quite fun to drive. Now, a lot of people, they hear NA, four-banger, 182 horsepower. This isn't that crazy, but you got to throw that spice of lightweight. This is only 1,000 kilos. So this thing does not weigh hardly anything. And the fact that, you get in this car, you're at about 1,000 kilos, you got 182 horsepower, and when it's only me in the car, this is pretty fun to drive. We got a 5-speed manual gearbox here, which is pretty good. Now, this car does have a few slight modifications. So we've got an exhaust system. The car has had a ECU flash. So I am told by the owner, though, that this really doesn't give it much horsepower gains. We do have upgraded wheels, which saves us about 2 kilos, I think, in weight savings. So they're quite nice. They're 16-inch wheels, so same size as factory. Now, here we go. We're coming up to some nice tip-ins here. So the brakes actually are not too bad. I think he does have upgraded rotors up front. Oh, wow. Wow. This is where it gets fun. Oh. Yeah, boy! Wow, it's actually pretty rapid. It feels very healthy with only 182 horsepower. Wow, yeah, it's quite something. Because again, it's so light, That's really the main ingredient here, is being lightweight. Yeah, it's got a lot of charm. It really does. It moves around a little bit. You definitely feel some torque steer as well, which I actually like. I always like when there's a little bit of torque steer, because it gives it that little bit of character again. And Yeah, it doesn't disappoint, this. Yeah, you can really see why this is such a great little track car, because it is just so much fun to send it. And, you know, with that high RPM red line, it is actually quite impressive how long the gears go out. I find myself actually wanting to shift too early, because I'm getting to about, you know, 6,500, and I feel like I got to change. But now, you know, I've still got another 1,000 to go. This thing redlines at about 7,500, so I've really got to remember to just not keep your foot down. We're warmed up here. This is a lot of fun. You know, for a car that, you know, this is 2005, so, you know, this is well and truly kind of in, this is right around when my F6 was built, and it's so good. I love cars from this era. I just do, because they always seem to just have that bit of character and charm about them, because they were kind of right before all that huge technology craze took over the auto industry. You know, we still got a nice 5-speed manual shifter here, standard e-brake. You know, this thing is light, it's fun, you just throw it around. Only 182 horsepower, but that's all you need, literally. You know, it's plenty of go in this car, I tell you what. Now, this thing's from new here in Australia, this being the F1 edition. I believe it was around $35,000, but I think the owner got this one for about $31,000. So, you know, they obviously were trying to offload these cars, and, you know, offered a few discounts when they were selling them. Now, if you were going to buy one of these used, if you were going to get one of these ones, the F1 edition, one of these Sport Cups, you know, I think they're going to be around that $10,000 mark. I actually could not find one for sale right now in Australia, but if you get a basic one, so, you know, just a regular 182, hey, you're looking around, you know, $4,000, $5,000. They are cheap as chips, really are. Now, fuel economy in this is about 8.5 liters per 100 Ks, which, you know, it's not the greatest, but it's not terrible either. You know, this is a little 4-cylinder. It only weighs 1,000 kilos, so it's not going to break the bank. And, you know, on the interior here, it's very basic, but it's a basic little fun track car. The seats are quite nice. You know, they are a little bit cushy and a little bit, you know, they don't hug you tremendously. The back seats, look, they're not usable unless you've got maybe small kids, but it's nice that you can use them for throwing some bags in the back or something. It's got a rear boot, so, you know, you can chuck some groceries or whatever. You know, it's fairly practical, but again, you know, don't expect to go on a big weekend trip in this thing. Now, just getting a bit of sound here. Oh, a little bit of torque steer. Man, it's not the best sounding vehicle. I'm not gonna lie. You know, it's got an all right little engine note. You can hear the engine kind of, you know, going through its paces, but even this having an aftermarket exhaust, it is a little bit disappointing with the noise here. But, you know, it's still a very fun vehicle to go through the gears. It would really benefit, though, from a little bit of a louder exhaust. You know, if you could get a couple little bangs or chirps, that would really amplify, you know, the experience here. Now, I have definitely never been a massive Renault or Peugeot, you know, any kind of French production car. I ain't really like them. Now, I do realize Renault has put out a couple of cool models in the past and recently. But, yeah, you know, I've just never really been a huge fan. Though, I cannot deny that this is a fun little car. It really is. You know, it's a lot of charm in this thing. It likes to move around, you know, torque steer. You get that back wheel up. As, you know, Jeremy Clarkson said on Top Gear, you know, this is like a little puppy dog that just is eager to do everything. You know, it kicks its hind leg up. It wants to run around and scream at you. It's just so much fun. And it really is a joy to get out on a nice open B road. I love good little hot hatches like this. I really do. They are just so much fun. Could we have a little bit more power? Yeah, we could, but I honestly think this is probably the right amount for this car. You know, you had a couple more bolt-ons, you could probably push it that little bit more, but it just, you really can feel that back wheel just want to lift off on when you go hard around a corner here. It's just so much fun. And you find yourself wanting to kind of push it that little bit more because of that. You know, you're like, yeah, it just kind of eggs you on this car. It really does. And we're coming up here to this really nice 180-degree kind of bend. Let's get that back wheel up, come on. Yeah, you can hear it kind of squealing. You can hear it squeal a little bit there with the oversteer. But man, oh my God. So much fun. It is really so enjoyable to push this car. It is. Now, 0 to 100. I've got traction control off. Yeah, this is claimed at around 7 seconds, I believe. So just gonna chuck it into first and send it here. So. $100. Man, we did hit 100. It just hits 100 at second. Wow, yeah, first gear. Did feel like it lit up the tires a little bit there. You really have to have the traction control off to get any kind of a time here, but wow. That is the beauty of a lightweight front wheel drive car, is just sending it in first like that, you know, doing a launch and spinning those front wheels up. And it's a lot of fun, you know, you watching that tack run up, you know, you're holding, got that torque steer, you're fighting, you're getting into the second, there's no AC in here, you know, you're absolutely dying of heat. But my goodness, guys, this is such a fun vehicle, and yeah, I love it. I love it. Now, I'm going to finish the video off here today, so a huge thank you to the owner for allowing me to take out his little Renault Sport Cup 182. This little F1 edition was a lot of fun to take out. This really would make a perfect little track car, and you know, for the money, it's a pretty good value, I reckon. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something. So if so, please go ahead and hit that like button. Consider subscribing if you're new here, and we'll see you on that next video.